For joining me again. Dr. Pompa and I were together this past summer. Maybe many of you saw our interview, and we're back. So Dr. Pompa is a chiropractor and a expert in toxins, as we've been talking about. I'm sure that's pretty clear. And he has a pretty interesting story to tell himself. But before we go there, Dr. Pompa, I'm hoping that you will address, let's see, Eva in the chat. I don't know if you can see that, or I'll just read it.
Yeah, just read it. I can't see it.
Okay. Or it's Angela. Angela has been detoxing with your True Cellular Detox for a while. And what she says above that is that she is been organic and carb-free for over a year and has not lost anything. She has had candida, strep, and H. pylori in her gut. Is that causing any interference?
Well, there's no doubt. Yeah, typically, like I said, when you have candida, H. pylori, pathogens, period, parasites, I did as well. It's just, you have to deal with the upstream issue like heavy metals that typically keep those things around. I could never really get rid of my candida or parasites until I got my heavy metals down to a certain place. You know, I mean, I did brain phases, multiple brain phases of True Cellular Detox, for obviously 4 years, but it was sometime after a year that I started to see the pathogens start to lower. Right, I mean, all of the things. The toxins drive cellular inflammation. How much of it's in the pituitary that runs your thyroid, your adrenals? That plays a role in the inability to lose weight. Its effect on the cells where the hormone receptors are, that plays a role. So many places. The gut microbiome, the toxins, dumping into the gut, that plays a role because it disrupts the microbiome in the inability to lose weight. So toxins affect the inability to lose weight. So many places that you're just not down the road yet. It could take another year. It could take 6 months.
Wow.
Continue with the detox.
So on that note, is there anything that she should do right now that I know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where she is in the process. Right. I have the True Cellular Detox in phases. There's a prep phase box, a body phase, and a brain phase. The brain phase is meant to be done for years, not months. Because to get this stuff out of the deep tissue, it's years, not months. It's years, not months. And that's what people have to understand. So, and some people need even more than just what's in the box, meaning that they need more than, I train doctors around the country to do what I do. Those are my platinum group of doctors, that really, that they can take even to another level of detox. I don't know if she needs that or not. I don't know the case here. But the point is some people need another level perhaps, but oftentimes it's just time. So.
Right. Yeah, it's not an exact science because the body is so complex. There's so many variables that we're dealing with, and we don't really know what the body needs in terms of steps. But you have a basic plan that works very well. In fact, I understand you have about 300 practitioners here in the U.S. Utilizing your program. So that's really wonderful. So, okay, Dr. Pompa, why don't you tell us your story? Because you really came quite a long way to get to
Yeah, I mean, everything I teach now came out of my own battle, right? I mean, I was a very happy, functioning doctor with 2 young kids, and life as I know it came to a screeching halt. Took me some years, obviously, to figure it out. But doing so, realizing, I didn't realize this at the time, but after getting 2 silver fillings out, it vaporized more mercury that had been bioaccumulating in my brain since in utero and my mother. That's where I got my first load. People have to understand that point, is we start in utero. It's from womb to the tomb, and then we have these exposures from vaccines and other things. I wore contact lenses, which we know now that had mercury in the thimerosal in the saline solution. My father loved methylate. I mean, grew up in the lead generation. And then, of course, silver fillings, 50% mercury. Got 2 of those out, sent my bucket overflowing. Days after that, unknowingly, is when the fatigue started. Went from fatigue to insomnia, anxiety. There's a noise. Do you hear that noise? Okay, it's just on my end then, okay. Anxiety, panic attacks, hormone disruption. My hair started thinning, falling out, couldn't heal from wounds. The adrenals were shot. I obviously couldn't adapt to even stress, even loud noises, my kids screaming. My wife would have to take them out of the house. My adrenal, my thyroid, all of it was downstream. What I'd learned took me some years. It was the mercury in my pituitary hypothalamus. That's what controls your hormones. So I was way too downstream for years, dealing with the parasites, the candida, the thyroid, the adrenals. The point is once I realized what had happened, then I was able to get to the cause. And that's what I teach, right? Cellular detox. You have to get to the cell for it to be real. But you have to get, it is phases. You have to get to these brain cells. That's really what's poisoning most of us. Again, it starts in utero. There's a study called the Dirac study. The number of fillings, mom, in your mouth or past is proportional to how much we find in the baby's brains on autopsies. Very accurate. There's many studies showing the amount of lead that you carry, most of which is in your bones. And during pregnancy, you lose bone. And out comes the lead. So again, proportional to mom is what's in us. Now today, we're being exposed to a chemical called glyphosate, being sprayed on all of our food. And that causes these metals that we've already been exposed to go deeper into the tissues, into the nerve tissue, setting up brain fog, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, energy loss, disrupting the mitochondria. So the set of symptoms that most people have today is no doubt we've been set, up for this perfect storm of all of these symptoms from what we've been exposed to in utero and then just exposures along the way.
Wow. Well, it just makes so much common sense to address the cells. Otherwise, you're really just not doing much at all, spinning our wheels, right? So you've got to speak to the cells and detox the cells. And that's such a beautiful thing about your program. Yeah.
You have to fix the cell to get well. You won't fix hormone problems unless you fix the cell. That's what drives them. The receptors to hormones are on every cell. Not to mention the mitochondria where you make energy, fat or glucose. That's disrupted in most people. Has to be fixed. So my 5 R's of how you fix a cell that I teach doctors, and now the public's caught on to it. R number 3 is restoring that cellular energy. Have to do it. Fixing the membrane is R2. That's where the receptors are. The key is to getting well today is you have to fix the cell.
Yeah, and that's the key to losing weight, but that's what our main
focus
is. You've got to get the body well in order to lose weight.
If we look at the 2 things I just mentioned, why people really can't lose weight. I bet you most of your viewers say, look, I've done the perfect diet. All right, some will say I lost 10 pounds and stopped. Some say I lost 0. Some say, I lost some, but I still can't get rid of this. The reason is the cell. The mitochondria, where you use fat for energy. Look, your cells can only use 2 things for energy, sugar or fat.
Right.
The hormonal ability to be a fat burner, efficient. So when you're not eating, you're burning your fat, right? That's key. But that's a healthy cell that has that ability to switch. That's not most people in America. We are stuck as sugar burners with the inability to utilize your stored fat as energy. So how do you fix that? You have to fix the cell. So, once you're able to make that shift and use fat for energy, therein lies magic to your hormone problems, the weight loss problems, and then your cravings even, because when you're not eating, guess what? You're burning your fat. Now, some of your viewers are going to say, well, that's not my issue. When I'm not eating, I'm not hungry, but I still don't lose fat. Okay, because that's your body burning its muscle, breaking it down into sugar. And therefore it's going, okay, I'm fine. I'm not hungry. but your metabolism is getting worse because you're losing muscle. So either you have a craving you can't resist and you break your diet. So some of you are in that group. Others are in the group that I don't even have to eat. I'm not even hungry, but I still don't lose weight. You're burning muscle into sugar. What you both have in common is your cell's inability to burn fat when you're not eating. For example, in the middle of the night or during the day. So most days I only eat 1 or 2 meals, but I'm eating my fat all day long. And that happens because my cells, are efficient. That wasn't always the case. When I was sick, I was skinny fat. I was losing muscle and I was fat around my waist. It was horrible looking. But point is the bigger issue, I didn't feel well, right? I couldn't sleep. I was anxious, right? I had brain fog. But the point is whether it was weight or feeling good, the answer was still fixing my cell and getting it to burn fat as an energy source and, and functioning to have energy, et cetera.
Exactly. And, this has really come from the latest research in the last 5 years, roughly, that, we really need to switch from glucose burning to fat burning. And can you say about how long it takes to make that switch once we've shifted our diet to including more healthy fats and, less of the nasty carbs?
Let's take a healthy person first, right? That just, healthy typically, but not doing the right thing, right? So we can put them into a state of what we call ketosis, where we're getting our carbohydrates typically below 50 grams a day, okay? And so it's a very low carbohydrate diet. And what that does is it forces the cell to choose fat because it needs energy. And you're not giving it enough energy and carbs. So it goes and it will start to burn fat as an energy source, your body fat, or the fat that you're eating, but it gets more efficient at burning fat. That takes about 3 to 4 weeks. Very healthy people, 2 weeks. They become an efficient fat burner. Now the carbs are way down here. Now you start using fat as energy. What happens immediately is healthy people, they start losing their hunger. They don't want to eat as much. They don't have to eat as much. They start forgetting meals. Why? Because your body's surviving is its energy, your own fat supply. And then you make something called ketones. That's why they call it ketosis. When you burn fat, you make ketones because your brain can't use glucose or fat. Your brain can't use fat as an energy source. So it uses the ketones. How you adapt typically even before anything is your brain just turns on because it's feeding off of these ketones that it absolutely loves and adores. So you go, oh my gosh, I'm like remembering everything. I can remember my way, out of a wet paper bag. So yeah, it's remarkable, right? You shift into ketosis, the brain turns on. But that's a normal person. Unhealthy people, you drop your carbs down way down here thinking, okay, I'm going to get into ketosis. Either you can measure your blood ketones and you're like not getting in.
Right.
Those are typically toxic people. Or you get into ketosis and you say, I'm still not burning fat. That's a toxic person. So toxicity, it brings us back there. So those people simply, they don't adapt. So now what we do is we do other strategies. We do feast-famine cycling. So by diet variation, I've written many articles on this, where we fast them, feast them, fast them, feast them. We create this adaptation. Oftentimes we even block fast them, where we go longer periods. We force their body, force their cells to use fat because it will not die. So even hormonally challenged, toxic people in a fasting state will absolutely start to burn fat. So, but you don't get fixed on one fast. We teach them to do multiple extended or block fasts. So just water for 4 or 5 days, every other month, every month. Maybe we do partial fast. Maybe we do broth fast. Different fasts for different situations. But the fasting with the detox brings this to a whole other level, and part of what I call a multi-therapeutic approach.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed for myself and my clients, and specifically that our brains got turned on again. I mean, that is so exciting because I'm really not worried about as I age that I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah.
A lot of people worry about. Plus, I'm giving my body mind that feedback that everything is fine. We're not going to go to brain deficiency or mind deficiency, so I'm giving it that positive feedback as well. And I hopefully inspire and encourage my clients to do the same thing, because the mental has so much to do about it. But that's not what we're here to talk about right now specifically. Let's see what else is in the chat. What else is going on here?
I think we have, because did my team give you the free neurotoxic quiz?
Yeah, let me post that in the chat right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
what brought that to mind was, I know right now if I were out there, I'd be saying, well, how do I know? Because I think we could say everybody's toxic to a certain degree, but the types of toxins that we're talking about are neurotoxins that accumulate in the nerve tissue in the brain. The quiz that you get to take for free, it really is the questions that our 300 plus doctors on the country. We know what a duck looks like, walks like, quacks like, so it's a duck. So meaning that there's a certain set of symptoms that we all look at, and that is the first step of how we would say someone's neurotoxic. And being neurotoxic, now weight loss becomes virtually impossible. We call it weight loss resistance. So, take the quiz. My team provided it. It's free, but that kind of gives you a step-by-step. So that'll help you.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, excellent. Let's see what another question is here. I love this live Q&A, Dr. Pompa, so that we can actually relate to people here and their questions. So, so Angela says she's done about 4 brain detoxes. The last 2 have been giving me the crazies. How long do you suggest I stay on it?
Yeah. I mean, just the fact that she has that symptom means that this is her problem. So she may need a coach, truth be told, right? Because some people do better taking these binders more frequently, literally every 3 to 4 hours, than they do 3 times a day. So, those are things, again, we've learned over the years, right? Even the cycle. Some people might do better on a shorter cycle, 3 on, 4 off versus 7, 7. So all of those, for someone who's really challenged, those things make a difference. The dosing, the cycle length, the timing, working with a coach, they know the feedback, even when to stay on a cycle longer. That's what I teach, right? So, for the average person, they can just follow that program and be like, no problem. But for someone who has bigger, deeper challenges, that's why we have coaches.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I just want to post another thing that you offered, is your recipe to detoxing smoothies. So that's just more or less, you probably would agree, Dr. Pompa, just kind of a, let's say, less significant way to detox.
Yeah. That's just like, that helps the process, right? Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But people love those things, right? I mean, because it's a nice way to assist the body's natural detox of the liver, the kidneys, etc., the gut.
Right. Exactly. So, do you want to run by us some of the symptoms that, or if not all the symptoms that people experience when they are really in need of your detox, or some?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give a few of them, and obviously that's why we have the quiz for them. But I mean, some of the classic things. I always look at somebody's sleep too as being one, because when we look at neurotoxicity, it affects the pituitary, which has a lot to do with anxiety, cortisol, because it controls the adrenals, which have a lot to do with sleep. Also, it has a lot to do with the pineal gland that sits outside of the blood-brain barrier, which gets metals just have an affinity for. It also has to do with cholesterol sulfate, which is hormone regulation. So sleep is a really indicator, whether you can't get to sleep, whether you wake up in the middle of the night not getting back to sleep for an hour, whether you sleep and feel like you didn't because you're not able to go into delta sleep, toxicity issue as well. So there's a lot of questions we even ask around sleep oftentimes. that even determines what's affected, right? So, because again, so much of it is hormone related, so, and therefore neurotoxic related. So, and then of course the anxiety that goes along with that. The pituitary is very toxic. That, can create a lot of that anxiety, that people move in and out of, and those odd feelings. So brain fog is, of course, you and I both have just spoken about, that brain fog where you just can't think through things anymore. That's no doubt linked to some neurotoxic issues of the brain. But anyways, there's a few things that, to think about. Yeah, if you have those, take the quiz.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So if one is to switch, as one of our people who have been chatting in the chat, switch from non-organic to organic food. Can you say about like what proportion of toxic relief that would provide to the body?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things it relieves is that chemical glyphosate, which is the active ingredient in Roundup, the #1 herbicide, pesticide sprayed on food. So you're relieving that. If something's 100% organic, you're relieving that. And why is that significant? Well, it is because #1, that chemical opens up our tight junctions in our gut. And what are those? Well, these are junctions that allow good things in, that, all your nutrients to flow in and out as it's supposed to, white blood cells to move in and out of your gut. They're meant to be there, but they close. Glyphosate leaves them wide open. So that's a case of leaky gut. That's like a 9-lane highway, whereas like you're reacting to every food, and it's not the gluten, right? It's like when you're healthy, you can eat gluten and it's like no big deal. But when your gut's wide open, those proteins beyond gluten, other ones too, lectins, etc., they cross over, drive antibodies, and you're inflamed and you feel horrible. So keeping the gut closed is key. So keep stopping this glyphosate that opens it up and keeps these tight junctions open. It's hugely important. So that's one thing you get when you're eating organic, is you're minimizing this nasty chemical glyphosate. No, there's other chemicals too, right? I mean, there's other different things they're spraying on food. There's other things that they're, no doubt you're eliminating those as well, which disrupt your microbiome, which we know once that gets disrupted, now you don't make even chemicals your brain needs to think clear, right? Neurotransmitters, serotonin, dopamine, feel-good hormones, right? Or brain neurotransmitters. When you're toxifying that, you're affecting that as well. So eating organic, you're literally shutting your gut back down. You're helping your microbiome. Very important.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, well, let's see. Are there any 1 or 2 or 3 things other than going organic that you can suggest that we do if we're just going to, not do your program right now, but what are some other important things?
Yeah, clean up your life in the sense of what cleaners are you using, right? If you looked in my cabinets, you would say, oh, those are all natural cleaners, I mean, things like that. Let's just take a little walk, right? Just for fun. These things that you're spraying end up, in your food, right? So with all of these natural, I'll hold them up. So, this is just stuff I bought at Whole Foods, right? It's natural. There's nothing bad in it. No surfactants. This is one for the floor, and there's ginger and other just natural things. There's not one non-toxic, plant-based, surfactant-free. So, all of these, let's keep going down. 7th generation, that's what we use in our dishwasher. This is, I'm pointing to a dishwasher. It's a little dark, but this is one of the most toxic things in your home because you have chemical city water coming into it with chlorine, fluoride, and other chemicals mixing into pot with detergent that when you open it, this fume goes all through your home. It coats the glasses, that chemical. So now you're drinking the chemicals. You're drinking all the chemicals from the city. You're drinking all the chemicals from the soap. Every plate you eat off of now is toxic. Okay, now this is what we spray our counters with, right? You can buy it anywhere. You can even use vinegar and hydrogen peroxide, for goodness sakes. But we spray our chemicals, we wipe it, And then we go, great. And then our kids are here eating off of that. We're putting these chemicals right into our thing. And the table's the same way. We're spraying the table, then we're eating off of it. Our dishes are getting toxified in the dishwasher, and then we're eating and drinking out of them. We wonder why we don't feel well. We wonder why we can't fix our gut. So the point is that you have to detox your life, right? It's like, so, I could walk into my bathroom and you would see my soaps, my toothpaste, all of it is natural. All of it. I've detoxed my life in every way possible. Yeah. Now am I saying that, because some of you are going to say, wow, you're still getting them. You're right. But if I can minimize what's coming in, now I have a chance to fix everything below it. That's the goal.
Because we're still getting the outgases from our car interiors, from the furniture. The fabric has been, soaked with fire repellent, retardant chemicals. We just can't get around that. So that's to your point. We have to just continually do what we can do the most that we can do to have the
absolutely
fine.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt. You have to do everything you can do. You won't find in my refrigerator, these are pasture raised eggs, right? These are, here's an unsweetened almond milk, unsweetened, very important, right? If I had milk in here, it would be 100% grass fed. That's another unsweetened organic pasta sauce or red sauce, all of these, everything's organic all the way through and through. So, every bit of it. Here's my organic flaxseed, chia seeds from the shake, every bit of it. Hopefully I'm inspiring all the way down to my organic coffee, which is shade grown. Let's show that. There's, there it is right there. That one. I have Purity coffee, and then I like this Camino Island. Coffee is very important. All my teas, of course, are organic. Here's a chamomile tea. Here's Bind. That's like what we use in the gut to make sure you don't reabsorb toxins. That's really important. So anyway, you can see, here's a product that I use all the time, Restore. Restore, this those tight junctions, even in the presence of glyphosate. So when I go out to eat, I do a cap of this right off the top.
Yeah, I've heard about that, quite a lot about that. Really.
Yeah, so here's what I do. So I do this. I do it at least once a day anyway, but I fill it halfway up, just the cap on the top, right down there. So when I'm going to dinner, I'll do a whole cap, because even though we eat at really healthy places, you never know. That protects you against that chemical glyphosate. It opens up your tight junction. This stuff actually closes the tight junction. I interviewed Zach Bush, the founder of this, and Cellular TV episode 110. I interviewed about this product. So that's a very important product. The Cyto Detox, you hear me talk a lot about it. It's a true binder that can penetrate into the cell membranes. And anyways, fun to take you around my house. That was the benefit of me not doing this in the office, because my internet was bad. I'm out in my kitchen area, so I take you on a little tour.
Yeah, well, thanks for the tour of your kitchen, your ultra healthy kitchen. And we can all be ultra healthy. We all can with those ultra healthy products. And part of my mission is to expand your awareness, because when you know that you have different choices, rather than the typical probably not healthy choices that maybe you have been making, you have a whole different world open to you. So in my research for the last couple of years or so on weight loss, I have found there are always natural components that can be substituted to what you're doing now. Natural, healthy, organic. And that's what the body wants. The body's not designed, obviously, to receive these synthetic chemicals that it is just being assaulted by. So that's why we need to ongoingly detox to some level or another. And ideally, start with Dr. Pompa's cellular detox. It just makes so much sense. And so, okay, we're going to start wrapping this up, because it's been about 40 minutes now. And we've learned a lot from Dr. Pompa and his kitchen components. And also, and speaking of kitchen, our cooking utensils. So we don't want to use any Teflon type materials. just stainless steel and, you know, wood kind of utensils. Frying pans and pots should be stainless steel or glass. Ceramic are best. And
yeah, so we go in here. There's all my stainless steel. Okay. There's one there. There's the stainless steel. Let me share this. I like this one. I'll share this as a little discovery. This one here it's called Scan Pan. Okay. It's from Denmark. This is the safest, most darn effective non-stick that I've ever dealt with. And I tell you, Denmark, they did a really good job in that. You know, I'm not a fan of non-stick because typically they wear, they peel. That one has no PFOAs. I mean, all the bad stuff that's in it. It's expensive. You know, you can order it online, but I think worth it. Just get one. It's all you need, right? Every once in a while you cook an egg, right? It's like, you know, you need that non-stick. That's a good one. So, yeah, hopefully that helps because I know you'll get that question. Well, stainless steel is good for most things. You're right. But when it comes to that, you need that one non-stick. Try that one. It's been a blessing to us. So.
And what's the brand name of that again?
Scan Pan.
Scan Pan.
Yeah, Scan Pan. And then from Denmark, and you'll know you got the right one. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. We're going to see. I have a question again from Angela. Is it good to use Restore while doing the cellular detox?
Yeah. All of our doctors use it.
Okay, great. So it's just kind of an adjunct kind of thing. Okay, great. So I think that's about it. So as you'll see, people who are viewing this, I previously put in the toxicity score link, so you can go there, take that free test to determine how toxic you are. And then the free smoothie ebook that Dr. Pompa has given us. And also, if you are interested in making a discovery call with me, working with me on your weight loss, I'll put my link in here so you can schedule that. And let's see, is there anything I'm missing here or any last words that you want to offer, Dr. Pompa?
Oh, you know, just start by detoxing your life, you know, and then, you know, keep going upstream. And I'll just say this finishing note. If you still don't feel well, despite doing a lot of things, that means there's still a stressor upstream. You know, that's really how we get these people, very challenged people, well. Is, you know, looking upstream, whether it's root canals, cavitations, hidden infections, heavy metals, you know, all of it. Look upstream, there lies your answer.
Right. You know, and I, being a weight loss expert, I work with one of Dr. Pompa's associates who's trained in his program, the True Cellular Detox. So if you want to work with that person, just contact me and I'll refer you to her. It's Dr. Lara Van Bryce that I'm talking about. I don't know if you remember her, but because you trained hundreds of practitioners in your program. So anyway, we're going to wrap it up now. And thanks, Dr. Pompa, once again for joining us. And thank you all for attending and asking your questions. And next week, there's an interview on Wednesday with Deborah Atkinson. She's a fitness over 50 professional. And then another thyroid expert coming up on the 8th. So I will hope to see you then.
All right. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye. See you guys.